Buen día, mi nombre es Miguel Ángel. Voy a exponer la actividad número uno de certificación de software sobre la calidad de los procesos. Quality of the process. This presentation contains number one, software maturity model. Number two, characteristics of the software process evaluation model SPICE. Number three, structure of ISO EC 50504. Number four, process of the software life cycle, ISO 12207. Software maturity model. Software maturity model are sets of best practice that provide organization with those elements that are essential measure the capacity and maturity of company software developers. Mature organization we process define measure, control, and improvise by software. We develop system according to their required specification, where the deadline established in the project plan, which achieves customer satisfaction. We ensure that the project team personnel integrate, coordinate, and works all in one line. Another bench of the organization that are mature is knowledge is generally kept in the organization. Maturity levels are defined as follow. Level 0, incomplete. The organization does not implement the process. Level 1, basic. The organization implements the process and achieves objectives. Level 2, done. The process is managed. Level 3, established. The organization uses adapted process based on standards. Level 4, predictable. Process is managed using quantitative technique. Level 5, optimize. The process is improved continuously. Most organizations certified in the SPICE model are level 2 and 3, with level being the first certificate level. Level 0 and 1 are not certificate. Software Process Assessment Model SPICE. A maturity model is a tool that is used for process improvement, to improve quality and to foster efficiency, thereby reducing risks in the development process. These are some characteristics of the SPICE model. The SPICE model is based on the ISO EC 50504 standard. SPICE certification tends to be cheaper and also easier to access. The SPICE model can be easily integrated with other ISO standards. SPICE follows the Managed System Certification Design ISO standard for which annual audits are carried out. A software development organization based on the SPICE model can implement the process of the ISO EC 12207. Structure of the ISO 50504. As we have already seen, the SPICE maturity evaluation model is based on ISO 55504, which establishes standard that allows improving the capacity and maturity of the process of a software development organization. The ISO 50504 standard is structured in 10 parts, of which the three regulations are parts 1, 2, and 7. The other 7 are informative. Part 1, Concepts and Vocabulary, provides an overview of process evaluation concepts and derives the process improvement and process capability evaluation. Uh, Part 2, Conducting an assessment, carry out the evaluation, defines the requirements for performing process evaluation and advises for use in process improvement and capability determination. Part 3. The part 3 is this guide for carry out evaluation. The guide for carry out evaluation provides guides on meeting the minimum sets of part 4, guidance on use for process improvement and process capability determination. Provides guidance on how to use a process evaluation within a process improvement program or for process capability determination. Part number 5. Part number 5, an example of a software lifecycle process assessment model. According to ISO EC 12207, an example of a process evaluation model provides an overview of process evaluation concepts and their use in the context of process employment and process capability determination. Part number 6. Part number 6, an example of a system lifecycle assessment model. According to ISO EC 50288, it constitutes a process evaluation model in accordance with the requirements of ISO IC 50504, based on the process reference model contains in ISO IC 50288. Parts number 7. Evaluation of organizational maturity defines a framework for determining organizational maturity based on the process capability profiles. Part number 8. An example process assessment model for IT service managed according to ISO EC 20000. Provide an example of an IT service managed process assessment model for use according an assessment in accordance with the requirements of ISO EC 50504. It allows evaluating the implements process of ISO EC 20000 in accordance with the requirements of ISO EC 50504. Part number 9. Tagger process profiles marks the guidelines for the object's process profiles for capability determination and employment purposes. Part number 10. Part number 10. The security extension. Extension of the security in three new processes. Security management, security engineering, and security certification of process. Software life cycle process ISO 12207. ISO 12207 is a reference framework that contains the process, activities, and tasks involved in the development, operations, and maintenance of a software product, covering the life of the system from the definition of the requirement until it is no longer used. This framework is divided into three macro processes: primary process, support process, and general or organizational process. The primary process. The primary process is made of five sub-processes, which are acquisition these activities and the tasks that the buyer, the customer or user perform to acquire system, a service or a software product, which are preparation and publication offers, which are software provide selection. Supply activities and tasks of the supplier, which are preparing contracts in response to a request from a buyer of a software product, which are identify the resource need to carry out software product development success. Uh, development. Development is activities and tasks focused on obtain a software product. It's a made-up analytics, design, coding, test, integration, and implementation. Operation, this is activities in exploitation of the software and operational support to the user. Maintains these activities that include modification of the product, both of the code and documentation, due to errors or the need for improvement or an adaptation, which are migration to a new operating environment, which are product recall. The support process. This provides assistance to the rest of the process and are applied anytime during the life cycle of the software. This is composed of a sub-process, which are documentation. Documentation record the information produced by a life cycle process of activity, which are design, edit, distribute, and maintain documents produced during the development of software. Configuration manage activities that control the modification and version of the elements. Quality assurance activities to assure product meet our requirements, specific and conform to displacement plans. Verifications, this is activities to determine the proper functioning and software product. Validation, this is activities to determine if the product meets the requirements. Joint review. Joint review these activities that allow determine the state of the product in a certain activity of the cycle of life or in a certain phase of the project. Audits. Audits these activities that allow determining in some certain times if the objects have been achieved proposals, requirements, complies with the contract, etc. And problem solving. These are activities that allow analyze and resolve problems or disagreements with the requirements or with the contract which have arisen during a development, operation, maintenance, or at any other time. Support or general process. This focus on the management, training of the personnel, process improvement, etc. This is composed of four sub-processes, which are management, this is planning activities, monitoring, control, review and evaluation activities. Infrastructure activities to determine the infrastructure need for a process. Improvement is measure, control, evaluate, and improve a life cycle process. Training. Training focus or training plans for employees. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for your attention.